You're listening to the Soulless Minions of Orthodoxy, alternative DVD commentaries. Hello, my name is Josh, and sitting with me in the Soulless Minions studios is my brother Justin. Say hello.
Hello, Justin.
Today, we're going to be watching the 1980 film, The Apple, that notoriously not that bad of a film.
I reject that statement.
And so do I.
Yes.
This movie is a hell of a lot of fun, and
It's
I would
friggin'
never
great.
say that it's bad.
It's not.
Although it does have a reputation, and we'll get into that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you're going to watch it with us today, which we hope you do, it's on Amazon Prime. It's on Blu-ray now. Get your copy, load it up right after the MGM logo has faded to black, and we'll give you the cue to unpause, and we'll watch it together. Here comes the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Unpause. All right, the Cannon Group presents. That's a great opening.
Well, you know, I suppose
The Apple.
Well, let me take that canon title to remind you that that's how we discovered this movie.
Right,
I was
yeah.
showing you the Electric Boogaloo, the story
Right.
of Cannon Films.
That documentary.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
showed probably about, I don't know, less than 5 minutes worth of this movie, in that documentary.
Yeah.
And the only reason it caught our attention was because it has Catherine Mary Stewart, who I've been in love with ever since The Last Starfighter.
Let me interrupt for a moment. That's
Okay,
not...
well, let me tell my story. Okay? That's what caught my attention.
Okay.
And I don't know if I watched the documentary alone and then showed it to you, or we watched it for the first time together, but I remember that we both saw the clips of this movie and thought, oh my God, this is a beautiful disaster. No matter what, we have to check this out.
Right.
And we watched a series of YouTube videos with the music. We watched maybe 2 of the songs, 3 tops, and you said, stop right now. I don't want to watch anymore. We're buying the Blu-ray, the DVD, whatever. We're going to watch this movie. And we did. And we both thoroughly enjoyed it.
It was great. And we didn't need to see much to be sold on it.
No.
And all we saw, like you said, were those few clips in that documentary. But I did know about this movie before.
I did not.
I knew about it. I went to go see a midnight showing of Donnie Darko a long time ago in Hollywood. And this was before the internet had really taken over the world. So this was 2003 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And we went to this midnight show, and they were playing these retro trailers before the movie started. And one of the trailers was for The Apple.
Is that right?
And I was watching this trailer. I was thinking, what the hell is this movie? It looks like something that should have been on MST3K or something.
It looks like a garish nightmare.
It was just so bizarre, and I thought, there's no way on earth this is real.
Yeah.
And after that showing of Donnie Darko, I kind of forgot about it, but it still sat in my subconscious. And then,
oh my gosh.
yeah,
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I know this movie reuses all the same dancers for every sequence, and one of the guys holding up Pandy was the guy that plays the cop later that tells his landlord to put the sticker on.
oh, right.
I just realized that
you can wear it wherever you want.
wherever you want. I just realized that was in. I'm sorry. So your story.
That was pretty much my story.
All right.
So you interrupted at the right time.
All right.
So when I went into it though, and it was colored by the fact that when we watched that documentary, they were speaking of it not from a cult status point of view, but also they were talking to Mary Catherine Stewart. They were talking to the producers and whatnot, I think. And they were all saying, we put in a lot of work, effort into this movie. We wanted it to be this, this opus.
Yeah.
And it was so genuine. It was so heartfelt. And when they showed the scenes from the movie, we thought, well, it's a fantasy, and that's obvious.
Yeah.
But it had a quality to it.
It's got charm.
It had charm. There you go. That's a very good word to use. It had charm, and we saw the song.
The Apple.
We saw the song, "Cry for Me."
Yes.
And they played the whole scene.
Yeah.
And we did not talk once through that song. And then right after that song, we looked at each other and we said, that was beautiful. That was great. I have to see that again. I got to see the rest of this. And we did anyway. But do you want to talk about this opening here?
Sure. They're
This is
opening on the BIM.
The BIM. And this movie is pretty much wall-to-wall music.
It is.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this song, there's nothing to it. It's B-I-M over and over.
I am.
But I don't care. But the thing is,
It looks like they're doing some kind of like American Idol type thing here.
Yeah, kind of.
And
This song, I just saw a video where this movie was kind of reviewed, and he didn't get it. Like, he talked very poorly about
are you
it.
talking about Weird Movies with Mike?
Yeah.
On
Yes.
Fanboy Flicks?
Yes.
Yeah.
And normally, I'm like right on with what he says, but this
Not
movie
always.
just didn't click with him.
It didn't click with him.
And it was really kind of depressing because I'm like, man, you're not seeing this movie for what it is. And he talked about this particular song, and I think the song is exactly what it needs to be. The BIM Corporation is all but taking over the world at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And this song is right now their anthem. And it's nothing. It has no substance.
Nope.
It has almost no lyrics. It's got energy, and you get sucked into that, but it has no guts. Nothing on the inside. And I think that's exactly, whether the creators intended that to be or not, it's so superficial. Yeah. And of course it's going up against the love song. Naturally, it's going to seem very superficial, but even if you take it on its own without that other song, first of all, it's a shit ton of fun, but
it's very catchy,
but it's empty calories.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd like to believe they knew what they were doing, and that everyone's getting wrapped up in this nothing. It's just nothing.
Well, to
it's all
me,
flash.
it's almost like Josie and the Pussycats, the movie.
Yeah.
Where it was a music company,
Yeah.
and they're using subliminal messages
Yeah.
to program people to follow them and to worship them. And it's kind of the same way, except this is just right in your face. They're saying, BIM is the power. We're the power. It's and instead of it being subtle, it's just a sledgehammer over your head,
Now, here's our introduction to Alfie and BB.
Love the universal melody. You can't help but sing along. It's so hard. No. Like, okay, wait. The songs, save for maybe one of them, are immensely catchy. And this soundtrack, I think you know which one I mean.
What is it? The song?
The song?
I think it's like one of the most notorious songs from this movie.
Yeah, the Coming song.
Yeah.
I usually skip past that one.
Me too, honestly. It doesn't do anything.
It doesn't.
It's too obvious.
No, it is too obvious, but it's almost in a different genre.
It really is. I think that's why I don't.
Yeah.
It's not a bad song.
No, it's not.
She sings it well.
It starts out okay, but it goes on way too long.
Yeah, I agree.
And the scene accompanying it does as well.
It's so over the top.
Oh, no.
And that's saying something for this movie.
Now, there's a lot going on in this scene.
Yeah, yes, there is.
We should talk about that.
This is Catherine Mary Stewart, and the guy is George Gilmore.
And he's playing Alfie.
Alfie
and BB.
Now, that's him. That's his real voice.
And that's not her real
That is not hers. She is filled in by someone else who...
Did she try to sing
She said
the
that she can sing well.
But not that well.
But she freely admitted, yeah, this girl's a lot better. And so she had no problem being dubbed by her for the singing. I really like George Gilmore in this, Alfie. He's so pure and dedicated to what he does, to a fault for his character. But I think he's a good-looking cat. He's got a naive charm to him that I really like. Like, he was really well cast.
Yeah. I like this girl. The girl starts to cry.
They start winning over the crowd.
Right.
But again, this is what I think is the subtle genius of this movie. They do start winning over the crowd because here we are given something of substance. And they didn't like it at first, but it kind of grew on them. And, of course, the corporate guys are going to screw with it.
It's just nostalgia.
That dude,
I had to do that one.
When this movie started, I got one look at him and I thought, he is going to push me right out of this movie. But
no, he didn't.
There's something about him. I like him. I like everybody, but to look at him, you think, no way. I'm not watching this.
No.
But he grows on you.
He does. You mentioned George Gilmore as
Yeah.
Alfie.
Yeah.
You know who I really like is Alan Love.
Alan Love.
as
Yeah.
as
Hold on.
it's not Dandy. Dandy?
Yeah, it's Dandy.
It's Dandy as Dandy. That dude looks money in this
Dude,
movie.
he does.
He looks so fucking money.
He is so early 80s.
He's a composer.
He is a singer.
Yeah,
he was
he's
a pop
but
singer in like
I
England
look
or
at it, I'm
something.
like, why did this guy not become a movie star?
Yeah, he's got something. He
He's
just
good-
jumps off the screen.
Oh, yeah,
George
totally.
Gilmore is a classically, like, he looks like
Handsome
he should
guy.
be in a
Yeah.
40s and 50s movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Alan Love looks like a friggin' rock star.
Yeah.
And he acts like a rock star. Like,
Yeah.
you can't, I'm sorry, but you can't just act it. Like, you could
yeah.
tell that guy lives it.
Yeah.
Like, he is a rock star. And
Well-
he's got, just like,
Well, look at him when he's walking around wearing a thong
Yeah.
in the Apple sequence itself. The
I
dude
know.
does not look ashamed. He looks comfortable as hell.
and he's nowhere near as built as
No,
George
not at all.
Gilmore, but he owns it.
But here, like what just happened here, if you're not watching with us here, we just went through the opening sequence where BB and Alfie did really well at the American Idol style contest, much to BIM's their surprise. They did really well, and they had to actually taint their music with this high pitched noise to get them off the stage because their heartbeat level was actually really high. They were at over 150 heartbeats. How they measure this, they don't really say. But the BIM song took a little while to get up there to 150. But the Universal Melody did really well.
I like this bit where this reporter is kind of questioning him.
The guy on the left.
Yeah.
He comes back later.
And in about 10, 15, 20 minutes tops, he's converted.
He's brainwashed.
Yeah. In fact, the devil here makes a point of getting his name because he knows he has to turn him.
That almost
Mr. Boogaloo, I should say.
Mr. Boogaloo. Almost like in Josie and the Pussycats. When
Yeah.
Alan Cumming has that girl that doesn't fit in. And so he tosses her in the van and then programs her.
Yeah.
Smells like Teen Spirit. And then,
Since this is just kind of, filler visuals right now, I know you know this, but I'll
well, we
point
got to
it
get a
out.
look at the world here, though. I mean,
Yeah, we do.
I mean, this movie wasn't produced on the biggest budget. They did the best they could.
No, but they found a location that
And
worked.
they're in Canada, aren't they? Aren't they in Vancouver or something?
Man, I don't know. That might be Europe.
You think?
Yeah, it might be.
Well, they have their Futuro cars, which are just basically modern cars.
Station wagons
Station
with
wagons
a bubble
with-
on top.
Yeah.
This guy, Mr. Boogaloo,
Mr. Boogaloo.
I can't pronounce his name. It's
Vladimir.
Vladik Shabel.
It's in
something.
From Russia with Love.
He is actually, and he's the dude. He is so charismatic. Like, I could understand why people would fall under his spell. He's got a quality. But what I was saying is that this movie was directed by I'm also going to mispronounce his name, Mannheim Golem. He was one of the two.
Well, he was Golan and Globus.
Yeah, he was one of the two owners of Canon. And prior to this, he had directed a handful, at least, of Canon films and a couple ones after. And the story goes that when they premiered this movie, it was so trashed, so beat upon, that he went straight up to his hotel room and considered suicide. Because he had genuinely thrown himself into this movie. He thought, he really thought he was making something big and special here. And like you said earlier, the people's hearts were in it. Catherine Mary Stewart, this was her first movie. She was plucked out of obscurity. And you see that people are really giving it the effort. And I think Golem was also giving it his effort, regardless of it, if his intentions were, to break into mainstream Hollywood. Who cares? Whatever. He was putting his heart into this movie, and I think it shows. And it was sad that it was so trashed.
Well, I think people weren't quite ready for what the movie was. I think it was. It's
There's your boy.
Oh yeah.
Alan Love.
It's a bizarre musical.
Yeah.
Very. It's a fantasy, but people have, I think, a difficult time accepting its own rules.
I think there's two reasons primarily. Well, I guess you could say three. Why this movie didn't do well.
Okay.
One is what you just said. It's a strange looking movie for one.
Right. Well, everybody pops. The whole movie pops. I mean,
it does.
But in a very strange way.
It's kind of garish. It
Yes.
is. You just kind of have to accept this is the world. A lot of people don't like the songs, which I'll never
I don't know
understand.
why.
To this day, gun to my head, I do not understand.
I've listened to this soundtrack so
many
many times.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. Like, when we found the movie, we both got the soundtrack. You probably gave it to me.
Yeah.
And I remember I had it on my phone with my earbuds on it for days whenever I do stuff. And I would just listen to it on a loop over and over and over again.
I agree.
And you were doing the same thing at the same time. And
Oh,
I don't listen to stuff that I don't like repeatedly or
Yeah.
that's just okay. Like, it's only stuff that's catchy. And yeah, maybe the songs aren't
They're good.
deep.
But they're good.
But they're
fun. They're catchy.
immensely catchy and
And in
great
the case of
melodies.
this movie, they progress the plot.
They do.
Not in like leaps and bounds.
No.
Not all of them.
No.
Some do, some don't. Some are more just fun. But
I think on a level, if we're gonna rate the songs, I think "Cry for Me" is at the top.
yeah.
I think
Apple's great.
okay for me, I'm gonna rate "Cry for Me" at the top, then probably "Where Has It Gone," and then
Yeah.
this one, "Made for Me," that's about to come up, and then I think "The Apple" after that.
Oh boy, interesting.
I like "The Apple." I just like
The visuals of the apple are
I think the visuals of the apple help sell the song
It
more
does.
than by itself. So, and then probably comes the BIM song, and then maybe the wonder we have created, which we forgot to mention.
Let's get there. I wanted to finish my thought though real quick.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry.
As to why I think it didn't necessarily hit. So the songs, which you and I disagree with, the garish look of it,
Yeah.
and I think there's a general misunderstanding, or at least there was amongst people that don't like it, as far as what this movie is. And you used the word earlier, 15 minutes ago now. It's a fantasy. Don't look at this as a view of the future in a realistic way. That's not what this is.
Mm-hmm.
This is like The Warriors or Streets of Fire.
Right.
It's an alternate
Right.
reality. You can't look at it literally. It's
Right.
different. And also, I think the title song, The Apple, that whole sequence, I think represents what this movie is, and people don't understand. When people see that sequence, they see it just as a musical sequence, and that it doesn't make sense. Like, why is it this? Why is it that? They're not paying attention. That scene represents Alfie's inner working. It's truly a musical. It goes into his head. And I think a lot of people don't understand the fantasy of this. This scene is clearly not literal.
No.
It's a musical. You have to look at it that way.
Well, just like they have a scene where they start dancing the showbiz scene, the showbiz song.
Yeah.
Which I forgot to rank, which is good. But the showbiz
Speed?
song. Well,
Or
Speed, I
Showbiz?
forgot to rank. That's good too. No. I messed up. I forgot some of them. But they have that whole dance sequence in the lobby.
Yeah.
And it's completely.
It's of course
fantastical.
that's not literal.
Yeah, no.
That's representing that song in particular. The show business is representing this company's or just this environment that these new people, these virgins to this world, are now being exposed to, and everything is a musical, and it's that one's I want, as strange as this may sound, a little more literal, because obviously they're not actually doing that. The character, the characters,
right.
but that's how they're perceiving it. So I think these scenes have purpose. These numbers. If you notice in this scene, Alan Love and Bibi, they are not part of the musical going on. I mean, they're singing, but they're not doing the dance numbers because that environment is being played over the top. They're watching, they're laughing, they're having a good time with it. But he's fully just wooing her.
Well, to me, it's no more different than like watching
Grease Lightning.
Yeah.
Look at that scene. It's totally insane.
Oh, of course.
That's not real.
Yeah.
But I think when you see Grease Lightning, you understand it. You see it and go, oh, that's just imagining their shop as this beautiful thing. This is not quite that literal. It's different. It's meant to represent something else in a lot of the scenes.
Well,
not
yeah.
all of them, but...
Well, yeah. But a lot of other things, like in that movie, are just...
Oh, here we go. This is one of my favorite lines. C'est la vie, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It's all orchestrated.
Yeah.
Like, that's how slick this movie actually is. You know, he sent in Dandy to
seduce her.
To seduce her. And he does it. He does it.
Totally.
He does it with no effort. He is so good at it. Mm-hmm. And he is such an unabashed asshole, really. You know, he looks at Alfie like garbage, and he treats him like garbage.
Pretty much, yeah.
And BB is totally replaceable. Boogaloo could point Alan Love at someone else tomorrow, and he would do the exact same thing. He doesn't care. He's what's the word when you have no emotions? What's that word? Apathetic? Is that the word?
Well, that means you don't care, right?
Well, fine. That's Dandy. He doesn't care. He has no emotional connection to anything. But I think that's what BIM is all about. You know, just say yes. Whatever BIM says, say yes. Just do it. Like, he's a yes man to the end. Even when Pandy goes on and ascends, he doesn't, because he's too far gone.
He isn't able to transcend that.
No, he's not.
Is, yeah.
But while we're up at this scene, let's go back to what you were saying. This movie, let's point out, Mr. Boogaloo is clearly the devil.
Yes.
Okay. He's not just like supposed devil-like. He is in fact the actual devil.
And Joss Ackland is God.
Mr. Tops.
Mr. Tops.
So,
now,
yes.
Speaking of, because you were
okay.
Well, I wanted to talk about the fantasy part of it, because you said something to me that I encountered when I was watching this, and someone was watching it and walking by, and I was trying to explain the plot. And I said, "Oh, it's a music."
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to explain like what it was, and I said, "Oh, it's a musical. It's a music company, and it's a totalitarian state, dystopian future, 1994, and they run the world, but it's like Big Brother, right? Like from 1984. And
they just launch into this number,
right? And I said, well, see, the guy who's the music company, the guy who runs it, Mr. Boogaloo, he's the devil. And eventually God's going to come in, and there's going to be the rapture's going to happen, and he's going to take everyone else, all the decent folk out of the world.
Right.
But I said, he's like, so do they know he's the devil? And I was like, okay, you're looking at it too literally.
Yeah.
He just don't. Yes, he is, but that's not. It's a fantasy. It's a parable. Is that the right word to use?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he is the devil, but he's playing a part.
Yes, that's not the. You're looking at the wrong part.
Right.
You're focusing on the wrong part of the story. Like,
think of it more like Bedazzled. Yeah, it's the devil, but she's playing a character for him.
But yeah, so you can't take everything you're seeing literally. Is what I'm saying. And it was.
He literally wears a horn later.
Yeah. And I said, you think of it like when Dorothy goes from black and white to color into Oz. Think of it like that. It's just a different world.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you were saying, well, this is you look at the sets that they're using, like practical locations.
They did.
Because this is like a lobby in a hotel. Looks like.
Was it a hotel or a mall that they were building? It was brand new. It had not yet opened. And they were
looks untouched.
Yeah, they were able to use it beforehand with the stipulation that they couldn't wreck anything, and they had to have it clean when they left. And you and I were trying to figure out where they shot this. I know we thought this the first time we watched the movie. We were like, where is this? This is weird. The buildings they used, the exteriors have a very future look to them, and it saved them, millions and millions of dollars in production value, and gave them a look that it's unique. It's unique to this movie for me.
I don't know what was going on in cinema in 1980 when this movie came out. Were musicals really that hot?
I believe this comes on the heels of not Little Shop of Horrors. What's the Rocky Horror
Picture Show.
But Grease came out before.
Did that really do well? I mean,
well enough.
And what makes Rocky Horror Picture Show any more watchable than this.
I can't answer that. I enjoy this more than Rocky Horror.
I've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show.
To me, it's just okay.
I've seen parts of it.
Yeah,
I've seen the Tim Curry stuff.
Sure. This movie's better, in my opinion. It's more rewatchable.
So why can't this movie
I don't know.
succeed where that one does? What's the difference?
You got me, man. I don't get it, because this is a good movie.
And it's
It
not like
knows
they
what
didn't
it
do a
is.
good job choreographing and
No.
creating this music.
Not at all.
And this
It's
world.
great. I will say one thing this, in all fairness, one thing this movie could use more of is, I don't want to say explanation, because I think it's perfectly clear, but more talking scenes in addition to the music. Just to flesh out the characters a little more. Like I said, everything's totally understandable, but just to give it a little more
Depth,
sure.
a
Yeah.
little more nuance.
A little more.
I don't. Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. It does kind of jump from song to song very quickly.
For example, I enjoy, and it's not to say that they don't give you anything. It's just, it's very quick. I mentioned earlier that Pandy turns against them and goes with Mr. Tops in the end and ascends.
Right.
There's one scene prior to that sets that up. Just one. And it's the night after. I think
she's singing and she's
the night after the Coming song, and she wakes up and she kind of walks out, and everyone's like still strung out and all that, and she's looking at it and just goes, ugh, oh God, I don't want any part of this. And that's the day that Alfie comes for BB and he gets turned away, but BB wants to leave because she's kind of had it too, and they try and stop her, and Pandy's the one that goes, let her go. That was like her first step to getting out of this. Let her go. I'll go next. And that's an example of where I could have used another scene or two to kind of set up Pandy going, even though, I get it, but just more, because I think that's an interesting part of this story. Mm-hmm. People that have been converted but are now waking up. That's interesting to me. And also give me a little more on Alan Love and how he's truly converted and how he's not coming back. I find that interesting. It doesn't take away from the movie, but it would have been nice just to flesh out a little more.
It could have been. The movie is rather short. It's under 90 minutes.
It's, I think, 91.
Maybe there was. Maybe this movie did have more talking scenes to it, and they butchered it to quicken the pace, maybe.
Well, speaking of deleted scenes,
are there?
Well,
available?
No. The only scene we know of that was at least attempted to be shot.
We're going back to the beginning again. Okay.
Was the creation song.
Right.
And that's how the movie was originally supposed to open. And it's God, Mr. Tops, singing about creation. Behold the wonders I've created. Yeah. And he's setting up that this is, assuming we're using the word right, a parable for religion.
I don't think we are.
Okay. Yeah, you might be right.
Okay.
But this is symbolic of religion. Yes?
Yeah. Well, it's the story of Adam and Eve. It's the Garden of Eden. It's the apple is the apple of knowledge.
Yeah.
And like I said, the rapture's at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It's the battle between the God and the devil on earth. That's what this is.
But so the movie was supposed to open with that, and it was going to be animals and all this stuff. And apparently they attempted to shoot it, and it was a giant disaster. They couldn't get the animals to get it was like pandemonium. So they cut it. And unfortunately, that makes the ending of the movie a little abrupt.
It does.
Because Mr. Tops just shows
up out of nowhere.
Now,
and you don't know anything about it.
No, you don't. But, I mean,
it's Joss Ackland.
If you're smart enough, you put it together.
Yeah, he does a great job.
Yeah, but it comes out of nowhere.
It does really come out of nowhere. And they call it the Deus Ex Machina.
Uh-huh.
And it... I think it wouldn't have looked as that if they had set it up a little bit easier.
Yeah,
I think it did literally come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like he just suddenly, okay, pulls up in his Cadillac in the sky, and
when you realize that's how it would have started, that those scenes bookend the movie,
right?
It would have made perfect sense. It's a shame that got cut.
Don't you see what's going
Well,
on?
here we are going into the title song of the movie. Alfie
that's right.
They're about to be signed,
And this is the temptation.
This is God,
right?
the devil offering him a deal, something they want. BB is ready to sign right away.
Seemed like it would be much more fun to hang out with Mr. Boogaloo than with Mr. Tops, though, don't you think? Hanging out in the forest with those hippies at the end, I'm like, well,
that does not seem like
doesn't
fun.
seem that fun.
But Alfie here, he smells a rat, and
Flames now.
and now he's seeing it for what it is, which is temptation, and that this is no good.
And this is one of the scenes. This is the title song of the movie. And if you just show this scene out of context, people are going to be totally confused.
Yeah.
You're like, what is this movie? It's a dream sequence. He's in his head.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not literally happening, but
I mean, the guy, the snake is there. I mean, this is wonderful what they did here.
oh yeah. And he's in the his little leaf underwear there.
Yeah.
There we go. See, there's
Dandy.
There's Dandy in his thong underwear. Yeah. Very revealing underwear.
And I like his voice, his singing voice.
He's
got
voice.
that great 80s rock voice, or 70s really. Just that screaming kind of voice. I dig it.
Our special hors d'oeuvre, my special hors d'oeuvre, the
There he is wearing that horn I was talking about.
Oh, you're right.
But he does wear it later too. I love that they physically offer her an apple.
Oh yeah.
Taste it. Taste it. This scene's genius. And a shit ton of fun.
Oh, yeah.
On top of it.
It just looks like everyone's a little bit posed, but it's okay because
Yeah, but then it breaks into song.
well, it's supposed to be a it's his dream, it's his thought, So
yeah, it's
I like this
picturesque.
Napoleon.
Yeah.
Napoleon's there.
And then they got all these weird freaks, and like, what is this? Who knows?
He starts, Napoleon's getting into it.
Oh my god. I like you said, I have listened to this soundtrack so many times.
Oh yeah, I was listening to it on the way over here to get into the mood. But it looks
Magic
like
Apple, Mystery Apple.
Mystery Apple.
Mystery Apple, take a little ride, let me be your guide.
And he owns this song. He
Oh,
just
yeah, of course.
he takes us right through it. I mean, like you said, like, why isn't this guy a star? You
Well,
see it
had
in
he been
this.
in a movie that was better received, maybe.
suppose.
But he was in. I checked out his film credits. He had this and 2 other credits.
That's it.
That's it. And they were both 3 years after this one. One was it wasn't. I don't know if it was a film, but the other one was a TV credit, and that was it. He never did anything acting on film again. And
but he was a successful singer, correct?
singer/composer, probably songwriter as well. I'm guessing he was successful, but not on film. I think it was maybe difficult to get back into it after this movie was just trashed and first trashed then buried. I think. Thankfully, Catherine.
Do it.
Do it. Wait, here comes the best part where he's doing that clap. Here it comes.
No one can see it.
Well, okay, hold on. It's coming up right there.
That and the bear head. This guy,
This part. Yeah, when he's doing the shuffle with his arms. Yeah, that looks really good.
Oh god. Well,
Wait,
you
he's
and I
about
went
to do it.
back.
There it goes.
and-
Here it comes.
Here we go.
There we go.
We went back to that so many times. It's not even funny.
Oh, it's a natural.
Is that actually her doing the whole flip?
That certainly looks like it.
Because she dips out of frame for a
She
moment.
they caught her. Yeah. And they
Okay,
flipped her
I thought
over.
maybe it was like they had another person like a
No,
stunt double, and then she pops up.
No,
I'm
you
not
can
sure.
see it. That
Okay.
was all one take.
And you'll be paralyzed. You'll be
Same with Alfie here. You know, I wish I had seen him in more. I don't know what, because he's a certain kind of character in this, so I don't know like if he had dramatic chops or anything like that. But he certainly looks good on film. We know Catherine Mary Stewart went on to I would say good success. I mean, she did Night of the Comet, she did Last Starfighter, handful of other things, you know.
Oh yeah.
And you know, you talked about this at the top. Her in particular,
Take a bite.
she is so appreciative of her experience on this movie. You know, she doesn't care how. First of all, there's people that genuinely love this movie, like us.
Oh yeah.
And she's so respectful to Mannheim Golem for giving her this chance. She thinks the movie's fun. She enjoys it, and she has no problem being positive about it. She's so enthusiastic when she talks about it all these years later. And I've seen her in interviews for some of her other notable movies like Starfighter or Night of the Comet, and she says the same things. She says, guys, like, she was like 18 in this or something, 17. She was super young. And she points out, you know, I made it. I did this movie. I did Night of the Comet, and I did Starfighter. And she's like, people love these movies to this day. I am so lucky to have been a part of it, you know, and I just love that attitude. You know, that is so refreshing.
Why am I the darling of the beam elite? Why does everyone?
Yeah, sometimes you'll get a lot of actors or directors, and it'll be hard for them to talk about a movie that didn't do well,
Or, yeah.
you know, they'll look at the negative aspects of it. So that you know, thankfully you have someone that, you know, can still look at the positive, you know, and what it meant to them and what it continues to mean.
Now,
in the
this
positive
song,
way. Master.
I know you and I have talked about this, that there's no way they could make this song today.
Because it's a little tasteless.
Well, it is, but I mean, my God, he's literally singing this to two black, they're not
He
American,
knows how to be a master.
to two black people talking about whip them until they're tamed and keep them chained, and
Yeah.
there's just no way in hell that
No,
this
it
gets made
wouldn't.
today.
No, not in today's culture. No, it wouldn't work.
I dig that this guy sings William Shatner style. He
just
He
talks.
speaks it. He doesn't sing it.
No.
Like, I could do this. That's what he's doing. But it works.
Oh
like,
yeah.
he
For
makes
his
work.
part, it does.
Yeah.
And this is this is more of a montage than actually a scene. So
Yeah.
this is BB getting kind of brought into the BIM culture.
Yeah, she's she's being trained. She's
Right.
She's being, you know, taught the part. This is, oh my God, this is not unlike the montage scene from Josie and the Pussycats.
Well, you know, the more I think about it, those plots are very similar.
They really are, man. I mean, they have a scene in a
Yeah,
with
with
hair
their-
dryers
yeah.
just like this. Yeah, you're right. You know,
Maybe fans of Josie and the Pussycats would actually enjoy this movie. Because that movie does have its fans too.
and Josie is very garish in its own way too.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder now if that movie, I mean, I know Josie existed, the character in the comic and all that, but I wonder if the movie was somewhat patterned after this, because it is actually very, very similar.
Maybe it was. Maybe.
Miss Phillips will answer all your questions. Now, Mr. Warren.
Miss Phillips, how does it feel? A girl from nowhere about to become America's #1
God, these
film star.
outfits are so awful.
Well, you can't take your eyes off of them, and I think that's the point. It's everything
suppose
stands
so.
out. Even like the reporters here in this scene they're wearing. I don't know what they're wearing. Is it leather, like some of them, or
Well, the one guy, he's there, like that guy in the red, the head publicist. It's like a velvet jumpsuit. For God's sake, it's horrible.
oh, here's the Speed song.
I love this song.
Is this one of your favorites?
It is one of my
Speed.
favorites. It's not my favorite, but it's one of my
Well,
favorites.
okay. Well, what do you rank as your favorite?
Ooh,
It's not Cry for Me.
I would say it's either Cry for Me or The Apple. Those two are
Okay.
they're too different to compare.
That's
I
true.
would say.
Oh,
They're
totally
literally
different energies.
apples and
oranges. Yeah.
But this song, it's literally about speed.
It's about drugs.
It's about speed.
Yeah,
And
well, yeah.
I've got to take more speed, and the song, just like the word bang. What do you call it when a word sounds like it's the way it's spelled? Bang.
Oh, I can't remember, but I know what you mean.
This song is a song version of that. Like, it's about speed and it gets you pumped.
It does. Totally
It's got
pumped.
so much energy.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the number. Like, and her in it. Look at her. She looks amazing.
Yeah, she does look very good.
And she's selling the dance and all.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the girl singing, her voice was perfect for this song. I could listen to this song over and over.
She'll do anything.
If I didn't know that she was lip syncing, I would have believed it.
No, they got someone close enough to her,
Yeah.
like, timbre.
It sounds like it could be her voice.
Yeah.
So
We're strung out on you. There's just one thing we're
this concept they have is so bizarre,
But see, now,
and that's okay.
you and I
I'm not
may have
saying that's
talked about
bad,
this. I'm
but-
not sure. But this song came, 10 seconds after the montage song? This is a perfect example of where they could have spent 5 minutes setting this up.
Yeah.
What is she doing here? Oh, she's making a music video.
Right.
How about that?
You're right.
And set it up going, baby, we need you to do exactly this, do that this way, sound
You're
this
right.
way, dance this way, shake your ass.
Yeah.
Make it part of the story.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
you're right. We did just come off of the master song. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And the
just jumped into
song
another one.
does make sense in the chronology of the plot,
Right.
but give it more purpose is all I'm saying. And that would have been so easy to do. They could have done it on this set.
I wonder if they had some second thoughts about this one, because what if it wasn't speed, and what if they were just saying cocaine? Like, what's the difference, really?
Cocaine.
Cocaine. I mean, speed is a word for something else. Speed is going fast. Cocaine is just cocaine. So they're just saying basically it's a song about drugs. It's a song about we need to juice ourselves up. We can't get enough. Is this song gonna fly? Is it too much? Is it too direct?
I'm inclined to say no. The thought never crossed their minds.
Maybe not. Yeah. This whole sequence with the woman he's staying with, it's a little.
With the landlord,
Yeah,
it's a little weird.
It's a little weird. He gets a little close with her. He grabs her breasts at one point.
He does,
And she doesn't seem that offended by it. It's more surprised.
Yeah.
Not like, oh my, and not slap him in the face like you would think any woman would do.
Yeah.
But she just goes, "Oh, Alfie, oh, you're so silly." Now."
Yeah,
it's like, okay.
it is. Here we go. See, now this is where their dynamic could have been explored a little more.
Well, they got Cheerios product placement like in Superman. So how did he end up here? I mean, this was... He's got pictures of BB on the wall. I had noticed that.
Well, they kind of imply that she's taking pity on him, and she's cutting him some slack with rent and things like that. And she likes him. She likes his songs. She kind of believes in him.
But like before you just said, like before we had that whole sequence with Speed, we could have used some more to set it up.
Oh, I
like,
agree.
We could have used some more here to set this up. What is this? When did he
I
get
agree
here?
completely. Yeah.
Who is she? I mean, we are just
Because I like her.
jumping into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to know more about
Yeah.
why she's so willing to. She's mothering him, for God's sake.
Yeah.
You
she
know,
is.
what is this? Does he know her from before?
Right.
I would like to. Yeah, I would like to have had.
Yeah,
that
if we had
explored.
one...
We're talking 5 minutes of screen
If
time.
we had a setup, not even that.
Yeah.
It's a few minutes where he walks up, knocks on the door, and says, "Hey, I'm down and out. Remember me? Like you helped me once before.
You were my
when
music
such and such."
teacher
Yeah,
or
like
something.
She's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Alfie, yeah, your home is my home."
Yeah, exactly.
It's not anything. And then we go into this. Scene,
Yes,
and then you get something.
That's
you know,
all
there
it
you go.
needed, and that's what this movie I think does lack, and especially this element with her, because she seems so giving to Alfie and all that.
And we don't
it
have
demands an explanation.
We don't have a foundation for it.
No.
She just seems a little too good Samaritan for no reason.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is where he grabs her. So they must know each other well at some level.
I guess.
Like, it just seemed like a bizarre choice, like for him to do. He could have just, grabbed her anywhere, like on her stomach, and that would have been okay.
Yeah.
So this is a "Where Is It Gone" song, right? Oh no, is this "Where Is It Gone"?
No, this is not Where Is Love Gone? No, that's later.
Yeah, this is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, this is "Where Is It Gone." Oh, where has it gone? It is.
Okay, it's just the beginning, right? Oh no, I'm thinking of
Which one? She's Made for Me?
no. Because they split this up. Is that what it is?
I think there may be an interlude.
Because then it goes back to him singing it with BB, correct?
I'm not sure. We'll have to see how.
Oh no,
it
that's
plays
Made
out.
for Me. What am I? Not Made for Me.
Cry for Me.
Cry for Me. Jesus, I'm getting them mixed up. I'm
Okay.
sorry. That's what I was thinking of. Cry for Me.
Okay.
My mistake.
Well, they got a monorail.
Yeah.
This does look like Europe.
Well, yeah, look at that in the background. That building, whatever that was.
Yeah, those kind of buildings only exist.
We don't have any of those in America.
In America, yeah. We don't have monorails.
I just realized those guards in black.
Yeah.
Their shields are the BIM sign.
Oh yeah. The BIM logo's everywhere.
It's bloody everywhere.
We haven't talked about the BIM symbol.
The BIM
mark. It's on everyone's face.
Yeah, look at it. It's there.
And you get a ticket if you don't wear it.
Oh yeah, see right there, big as day.
Yeah. See BIM burger. That's the BIM burger. Look at these.
The baby carriages are in the shape of
the BIM symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This may seem goofy, but I think we're looking at a version of the future where instead of BIM symbols, we're all going to be pushing baby carriages in the shape of Mickey Mouse's head. Disney's going to take over the friggin' world. And it's going to be like this. What, are you not laughing? Ha ha. I'll show you who's boss. Ha ha ha.
You think it's going to be Disney or something else?
Disney's well on the way. I just saw a video this morning talking about how Bob Iger might run for president. He has successfully run Disney. He certainly knows how to run.
Maybe that's what the country needs.
Maybe it does. He knows about publicity. He knows how to appear like a professional, for God's sake.
Maybe we just need a smart businessman in charge. Let's not go into politics.
Okay,
right now.
okay.
It's going to turn into something else. Okay. I don't want to turn our long-running podcast into a political debate.
No, absolutely
so
not.
Let's not do that.
So this is where he meets Tops, correct?
Is this where he meets Tops?
Your ID card.
Well, this is where he gets a ticket for not having his BIM mark.
Right.
BIM mark. You're not wearing one. I have to.
Yeah, this film stock has a film stock that reminds me of Supergirl, and that was shot in Europe.
I don't think it's the film stock. I think it's the area, because
or is it the lenses or something?
I think it's the geography of where they are. There's an overcast nature to it. I remember the commentary for Ronin, where Frankenheimer talks about that, and he was talking to a cinematographer saying, I want it to look like this movie and that movie and whatnot. He said, what do you have to do that? And the cinematographer goes, well, you have to shoot in Europe. And he goes, well, what do you mean? He said, it's where they are. That's what's giving it that look. And no camera is going to replicate that. It's the environment. It is what it is. And, you have to shoot in Prague and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's an unmistakable look. Just like when I can see a TV show and I can tell you it was shot in Vancouver. It has a look. God damn if I can explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Peter Hyams' movies look greasy. Well, there's a European look, and this has a European look to it. Where in Europe, I don't know, but European.
Well, this is the BIM hour.
Yeah.
And this is, no matter what you're doing, you have to stop and dance. And you see the firefighters have to stop fighting the fire.
Fighting fires.
to do
Nuns
the dance.
start
Nuns
breaking
have to
out.
start dancing.
But actually, this is actually kind of a good idea. They have to stop and exercise.
It's a national. Well, it's a National Fitness Hour.
Yes.
That's what it is. The
What?
BIM Fitness Hour, and that's not bad.
How do you argue with that?
It's not bad. Yeah.
You know, as long as you're not flying a plane or something, you have to stop and you have to exercise. Who gives a shit what the song is? And this would be wonderful. Could you imagine? How wonderful.
If this happened in real life,
They actually have the surgeons stop performing surgery.
and the patient actually,
and the
has to-
patient starts dancing too.
Right.
But that's brilliant. I love that building. Don't know what.
Well,
it
do you
really
think they
is.
like in this sequence in particular? Do you think the directors and whatnot, the writer, like the producers, were like wondering? Do you think people are gonna get it? Like, what's going on here?
I don't think so.
Like,
I
are people just gonna think? Oh yeah, they'll get it. Yeah, this is the BIM hour, and this is when you have to exercise. But no, are they just gonna think it looks weird?
Well, they say it in dialogue. You know, the radio comes in and goes, "Everyone, stop what you're doing. It's the BIM Fitness Hour."
Well, right,
You know,
but like the firemen start, the doctors, the patient, like you're
this is where you have to let go
right.
for the fantasy.
But there's a point where like that expression, well, you don't get it. Like you don't get it, right? So there's a threshold that we cross where we accept
obviously, a lot of
the
people
reality
didn't
of the
cross
movie.
it.
Right. So where's that threshold?
I think the same.
What makes it?
I don't know, but I mean, I think it's the same line in the sand that comes with a movie like The Warriors, where if you look at that movie literally, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
But if you look at
yeah.
it as a comic book fantasy, alternate reality, then the baseball furies make sense. You know,
Yeah.
like you can accept it. You have to, like, it's really just that simple. Either you can watch it and accept that reality, or you can't. And some people can't. This is, I mean, you and I have said this numerous times in other commentaries. We are not highbrow by any stretch, but we have a sensibility, and we are, hobbyists of film. So when a movie does what this is doing, where it wants you to accept this alternate reality, we understand what they're doing, and not to take this shit literally and enjoy it for what it is. Some people just don't do it or can't. Again, doesn't make us better. It's just like, I don't like horror movies because I can't get into that shit. It's not scary to me. It's same thing. This just works for us, and unfortunately we're a small demographic.
Kind of not unlike Starship Troopers, where at
You either get what
face
he's doing-
value,
yeah.
the movie seems like this big dumb action movie with bugs, but there's really a lot more going on under the surface, and it's really smarter than you think it is.
Yeah.
So if you don't buy into that concept, you're just gonna be a little dismissive of it. You're like, oh well, this movie has shitty acting and everything's wooden and everyone moves around stiffly.
But then you
and-
realize, oh, it's supposed to be.
oh, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah.
This scene's a little brutal.
Oh, when they beat up Alfie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to get past the fact that they beat the ever-loving shit out of him, and
By
then he's
these like really horrible looking guys. Yeah.
yeah, and then he's doing this sequence, "Cry for Me," and he's bleeding out of his mouth.
I mean, look at him. He's got blood on his teeth. I mean,
But he's completely disheveled, and you're like, oh well. It does take a little bit away from the song because he's just torn to pieces.
I like it. To me, that gives it power.
Well, if I ever show the "Cry for Me" scene to anybody, I have to explain to him like, okay, he just got into a fight.
Well, sure.
Because
in
I don't want you to be
context,
like surprised when you see him.
But in the context of the movie, I think it gives it.
oh yeah,
presence.
well, of course,
you know.
yeah. The station wagons, these Futuro station wagons, remind me of Homer Simpson's Futuro car. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I guess these guys with the fangs here, I guess they're supposed to be Mr. Boogaloo's like demons or something, or
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if they have the fangs, what are they? Are they demons? Are they?
I'm guessing something
else?
like-
See, Pandy's
like
churning.
that. She is.
She jumped. He offered her. Dandy offered her a drink because they're all celebrating because they kicked the crap out of Alfie and they think they're the top of the world. And she dumped hers out. She's already saying,
That's
"Fuck
too,
you.
that's
That's too
much.
far. Like,
Yeah.
why'd you do that? What did he do to you? You know." This is a damn good song.
Oh, I know. I remember the first time we saw it. Like I said,
we were moved.
We were moved. It was that documentary. We were sitting right
Are you
where
sure
we're sitting
it was the
now.
documentary? Oh, I thought we looked up the songs on YouTube and we watched the whole thing on YouTube.
It could have been. Maybe.
But
my
either
memory's
way, we
merging.
watched the whole song.
Oh, yeah.
And we were taken aback. We thought, oh my god.
And we thought, why is this bad?
No,
what
we
is?
could
What are they
not
talking
understand.
about? Like, this is good.
Yeah, because the documentary did talk about how everyone
Yeah.
thought the song
I was
sucked.
looking for. I was like, "Where's the bad? Where's
Yeah.
the bad? I don't see the bad. I don't hear the bad.
Yeah.
I don't, what are you talking about?
We watched the Apple song and then
Yeah.
Cry for Me, and we were like, this is great.
I got energized and then I got moved. I was just like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm sold.
Yeah, it will forever be a mystery to me why people don't like the songs on this. And I was ecstatic when this came out on Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, and it was recently too. Like
I had to
past
get
year
the
or two.
Yeah, I had to get the DVD on eBay, and I was
Right.
lucky to have
Because
that.
it wasn't as easy to find at first.
No.
Because we found this movie probably, what, 3-4 years ago?
Something like that.
maybe? Yeah, and it wasn't as accessible as it is now, so.
No, and this is a good transfer. I mean, this looks good. I don't think this movie's ever going to look better than
right.
what it looks
yeah,
like
it
right
does
here.
look very good. Yeah.
And I thank the maker that I have it, because this is a treasure.
Was not, and we're coming up to my favorite part in this song, the guitar riff.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I have both said, like, if we're in our car, we crank it up during the guitar solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. But wasn't someone from yeah, it's really good. Wasn't someone from
We went full orchestra.
yeah, it did. Wasn't someone from the who am I thinking of? It was someone in a famous group. Was it Parliament Funkadelic? George Clinton? Like, wasn't he part of this composition
Oh, Jesus.
I think.
I don't know.
with the guitar? I think
I have no idea.
I could have sworn it was that. You know, I mean, I could be wrong. This is years old memory, but I thought it was someone from that group was involved in composing.
Well, then you got me on that one.
Now, speaking of we were talking about like the pacing of the movie, and what it could need. Now we're coming to the part of the movie where the "Cry for Me" song is about to end, and the characters are both at their lowest space. I think this is where the movie peaks. I think this is as good as the movie gets, and I think its third act starts to sag a little bit. If you know what I mean. This is where we get the coming song, and then we get the song that immediately follows, which is another song by Dandy, which is good, but it's not
Her, yeah.
It's the tone is the genre of the song is a little out of place.
Yeah.
But it's a better song than the coming song. It's a little more
because that
heartfelt.
was more personal.
Yeah, but the pace of the movie starts to sag a little bit in the third act.
I agree. It does. But it's not unlike a biopic about a musician where they're plucked from obscurity, they hit their high, and then inevitably comes the drug years.
Inevitably comes the drug years.
And it's that part where you feel uncomfortable. And
It's Dewey Cox.
that was a perfect
It's
parody
the
of those
cheapest
movies.
drug there is.
And for Dewey, it's the 70s.
Get out of here, Dewey. You don't want none of this.
I think I want that cocaine.
Sorry.
Okay. And it's where he goes, where he's trying to make his weird songs, and he hits every a movie about musical people
Yeah.
does that.
Yeah, and you're right.
And that's that part of the movie. And it not only hits that, and it does do that, but it, like with Dewey Cox, it comes back and goes out on this big high, and most rockumentaries do that. This movie's a little different. That third act, because it goes full on into the fan. Instead of a big musical number to tie us up at the end, it gives us God. And it goes, and it's not a song.
No.
And it's different. It's good, but it's different. And it feels, the pacing feels strange.
It does. Well, it does.
It loses its energy.
It gives us music, but it gives us orchestra. It's the creation song, but it's just the orchestra part.
Right.
So it's out of sync with the rest of the movie.
Yeah, there's a pace and an energy that gets lost. I don't know what they could have done to change it, outside of like straight up rewriting it.
Well, yeah, I think this. I mean, the idea of Pandy seducing
him.
Alfie is fine.
Sure.
But it's the sequence that, just needed to be rewritten. The song needed to be redone.
It needed a different song. It was the wrong song.
Yeah. Like you said, she sings it well. I like her in this movie.
I like
so
her
no
too.
fault to her. It was just the wrong choice, I think. And if anything they were going to cut, why did they let this one go on as long as it did? It goes on probably 2 minutes longer than it needs to.
Yes, I agree. I'm looking up her name. Oh, it's Grace Kennedy.
Right.
I do like her. Just like almost all of there's that guy.
There's the guy.
There's
But he's got his bin mark on.
Yep. He's a full
And
convert.
he's a full waiter now. No longer independently thinking. See, look at this. He drinks.
And then he drinks
And then he
more.
continues to drink after he knows it's laced.
Yeah, he starts
He starts to like,
funny.
his vision is like, he's like, oh, I feel weird. He's like, oh, let me continue drinking this spiked drink.
Well pointed out in that video.
Yes. I was like, yeah, that's true. He does do that.
No, I don't. Why are you?
But I like this about Jesus, Alfie.
What about Alfie?
I like that he's so pure and so willing to go into the lion's den and face them, knowing that no one there wants him there. But he's so pure that he's willing to walk into the lion's den to try and get BB,
I heard you the first time.
Well, what do you say?
Yeah, he did. I hadn't thought about that. He knew full well
I like
what
that
was
about
going to
him.
happen to him. Yeah, he just got.
I mean, he really thinks he can go in there and plead for goodness, and
he can be virtuous, enough that he can,
and it'll work.
He can get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me have another one. Is he drinking absinthe? You think?
I don't know.
It's green.
I don't think he's associating the drink with the funny vision. He hasn't put that together.
Where is she?
Yeah, this.
Oh, right.
This.
I was
song.
getting lost in the visuals.
Yeah, I know. I
here.
was too. And it's going on. It's just like the same melody.
Yeah,
over
they
and
play
over
that
again.
melody for a while before the song.
It takes
starts.
too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get started. Yeah.
Like we get it. He's drugged.
Where is she?
I would have liked to have seen some sort of character arc for our guy there. What is his name? We haven't actually said his name.
His character name?
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't.
Is it? It's got to be Shake.
Shake?
I mean, that's like next up in the lineup of people. That's got to be. Ray Shell, if we're talking about the same guy. It's got to be. Because he's very much like Mr. Boogaloo's lapdog.
Yeah.
And but he's got so much screen time. Like I feel like there needs to be some resolution in his character. Like Dandy,
Well, he goes off into the sky at the end.
that there needed to be some build up.
See, there should have been. Well, he doesn't seem like he's not like. There's a difference between him and Dandy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but he goes off into the sky. Dandy doesn't.
Right.
So there's something that is almost seems like he's just being kind of led. That he's not doing it out of
he's totally
malice
being
or
led.
anything like Dandy. Dandy's like corrupted, and he's doing it for his own pleasure. Where he, on the other hand, what'd you say his character's name was?
Shake.
Shake, on the other hand, just doesn't seem to really do these things because
No, I think you're right. Shake
wants
is
to
a
enjoy it.
follower.
Right.
Dandy, Dandy's a follower, but he's a leader amongst the followers. You know,
Right.
He's a general. You know, whereas Shake, assuming we're getting his name right, he's different. He seems like a weak soul that they pulled in, and they're just making him do what he does best, which is be loud and in your face and all of that. But I don't really particularly sense any dissatisfaction where he is, unlike Pandy, who they are setting up, you know, to turn. So the fact that, like you said, he walks up and he ascends, there should have been some stuff to that.
About here is where I'm ready for the song to end.
Yeah,
and
I know.
then it keeps going.
It could have been okay if they left it right there.
Yeah, but
then
they go
get
into this
Caligula scene.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, okay, all right. No,
Yeah.
it's like Eyes Wide Shut. You're like, what?
But no, I agree. Like, if they had just played it there and left it there, I don't think we'd talk about it the way we do. If it had cut right there. And hey, she's great. In another movie, this would be fantastic.
Oh, she's sexy in this scene.
She's very,
yeah.
very.
Yeah.
I would have preferred more of her than this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, and she's got charisma just like everybody else. She should have kind of dominated this with her visual presence.
See, but it doesn't look like he's enjoying it. It looks painful for him.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, so it's like, well, should he enjoy it? I don't know. Like, I'm kind of cross about that. Like, I mean, if she's working him, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she's not an unattractive lady. At some point, you give into this and just go, well, shit, I'm just going to ride this one out.
Yeah, I mean, plus he's drugged, so he's not in his right mind either, so. But then again, like you said, he's the most pure of them all. I mean,
yeah.
So maybe the whole point of the scene is that he can't be, that he's constantly fighting her.
I mean, I give them props for what they were attempting
to do. Yeah.
It's just in the wrong movie, this particular sequence.
Yeah, it really is. And she's orgasming in the song.
Yeah. I mean, she literally says she's going to drain him.
Every drop of his love.
Every drop of his love.
Yeah.
And
very
it looks
much
like
on the
she
nose.
does it.
Like the Speed song. It's just very straight up with what it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like you can pretend it's not that if you want, but
Yeah,
you know.
But you can't. You can't.
Like
you can't
this
deny
song,
it.
I can listen to this whole soundtrack in the car with my son. This song I have to skip.
Yeah, you do.
You know, it's just too much. Oh, job well done. Let's get out of here.
You know, he
isn't this where he walks in on Dandy and BB? And they laugh at him, or was that at the beginning of the sequence? That was the beginning, wasn't it?
If it was, I must have missed it.
Yeah, he walks into the room.
Okay.
And they're in bed, and they both start laughing.
Okay.
I always got the impression that was not BB. Like he was imagining BB, because I don't think BB hooked up.
Like her face on someone else's body.
Yeah, I think he was just projecting.
Yeah.
Because to me, BB,
no,
she wouldn't. Not with Dandy.
Oh, it's still going. Oh, okay, now
here it is.
Out. Oh, here it is. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's not real.
Yeah, this isn't real. He just jumped through a mirror. This is just his imagination.
Yeah. Every guy's nightmare. It's like high fidelity.
That Alan, get your patchouli stink out of my store.
No, he's like, she was having the best sex of her life in my head. He's the worst guy.
I know.
Like, because you know he's gonna try, and it just kills you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where that song is the bridge that takes you to this kind of weird section. You know, where
where he meets God in the forest, and then
we're
in this hippie world, and
they're living there. It's very odd.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Was it a dream?
It may have seemed a little less odd in the time that this movie was made. This was 1980, so I can assume that maybe they conceived it in the late 70s and maybe even started filming some of it in the late 70s when a lot of these hippies were still hanging around, not willing to give up that they lost, that the hippies did not win. Watching this earlier today, Joss Ackland God, aka God, just referred to these hippies as, quote, refugees from the 60s. So it's kind of a tone shift without much of a gateway, of an entry, and that's something that we've discussed. You know, we've spent our whole movie watching in this. Sorry, I just got very distracted by Shade here. He just walked into the room wearing nothing but very tight Speedos, in a robe which he could have easily closed, but he decided to just walk in with it open.
Did you have fun last night?
So, as I was saying, the sequence there in the forest, it's a tone shift. It comes out of nowhere. We spend our time in this world where we are with this in this world, this fantasy, and then we're all of a sudden kind of almost feels like we're in more of the real world. Not as much
in
fantasy.
a way, yeah. It's just it goes from this religious fantasy movie to, even though it's supposed to be God in the forest,
but everything slows.
It does.
Like there's a lot of talking going on that we haven't gotten before, but it's in the wrong place now. It's like that thing should be moving fast now. Like this is the third act.
Yeah.
And things have kind of slowed. It's like, okay, now we're gonna do all the talking now, and it's like,
and everything looks very dreary.
Yeah, like. This doesn't look like a fun place to be.
No.
As compared to the rest of the world we were in. This look like a bunch of homeless people. It's like, well, why would I want to be here? I don't want to be. And even the police van looks ridiculous. What is that on
With
top of their car?
Pink bubbles.
I know. That if you take those pink bubbles off of it, it's just a van.
No.
You put them on there. It's from the future.
It's a Chevy van.
It's a Chevy van. There's an obscure reference.
Yeah.
to a MTV short from 1995.
Starring William
Shatner as himself and as the host of Rescue 911. Yeah. And his
genius.
I take orders only from him. You want...
But you see what I mean by the pace here?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I agree completely.
Hold up. Let her go. Shake. Hold up.
And now it's like,
and
why?
He's letting her go too. But it's unexplained.
It is. You're right.
You know, like,
Shade
why?
is. I mean, Shade's letting her go.
Yeah, why?
Thank you, Pandy.
Like Pandy, there's been some build up. You know, she's like, it's too late for me, but you can get out.
Well, this is when she's about to have her song.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And I mean, that's where we really get the feeling.
And then he does that. Why? He just told her to go. And since when has he been physical?
That's true.
Like there's something off about that whole scene. It feels weird. There's a weirdness to it. I think it's supposed to feel weird.
It's a different weird than the other weird.
Yeah, not weird, kooky weird. I mean, it's tonally weird. It's supposed to feel uncomfortable because Pandy's not comfortable, BB's not comfortable, and you're supposed to see it, and it's supposed to make you just sick to your stomach, and it does.
Right.
It does accomplish that, but it's so abrupt, and the guy just hit her. He hit Pandy, and I'm sorry, Pandy does not my Pandy. She doesn't put up with that. She would smack that dude right back. You know, like he's Mr. Blue's bitch. She is not. You know, she's a rock star.
I think at any other point in the movie, but because she's vulnerable right now, I think that maybe she didn't have the inner strength to fight back.
Maybe.
I'm crying. I'm finally alive.
See, it's a fine song. It really is, but it's and then it's got a nice melody. She has a nice voice, but it feels like a song that should have been earlier in the movie. Maybe
before she let her helped her get out.
Maybe, but this is, like I said, this is the climax, and
Yeah.
I think the pace should be moving a little bit faster, and this is a slow song, so it just doesn't feel right. So we're back to the landlord slash mother of Alfie. Who is, we know her from something else.
Yeah,
she has a familiar face.
Miriam something. She's a character actor.
She must have played a mother in something else, because she has
Miriam
a maternal
Margolis.
quality to her.
She's been in so many things. Let me see if I can scroll through her stuff real quick. Romeo and Juliet, one of the Harry Potters. Just starting it.
I mean, as small as her part is, I think she gives one of the best performances in the movie. I think it's the most natural.
Yeah, I get that. I see it.
Not to diminish anyone else's performance.
No, I do know what you mean, though. I don't know how to explain it. Kind of natural. I think that really is the word. She has like 174 she's credits. I'm telling you, she gets around. Is she
still around doing stuff?
Yeah, most recent one was a short this year. She's been in so many movies. You've seen her in so many things.
I think there's something in particular that I'm trying to key off.
She was in Magnolia, one of your movies.
It's not really one of my movies.
I keep saying that. She was in End of Days.
I liked Magnolia at one point in my life, and now you just won't let it go.
She was in. No, she was a voice there.
Isn't that like, when did that start? Where it was, you're picked on for liking that movie.
She was in Romeo and Juliet. She was the nurse.
Right.
Juliet.
Yeah, that's right. That's one of the things I know her from. Yeah. Yeah. She's like a matron kind of a character in that.
And
well, I mean, like quality, like is what I meant. Forget it. Never mind. Let it go.
Just so many things, man.
Do you think if that beginning stuff was there, that it would have helped with? I don't mean like explaining what's going on with Mr. Tops, but with making this stuff just feel more appropriate, even though it's slower paced. Like if we knew more of who he was, what his game was.
Yes.
Okay.
I do. He
like it's a return to innocence, but we never
when you and I first watched this movie.
Yeah.
I already know who he was. I got it. Because the religious stuff was so obvious. Like I got it. He was God. So I didn't. It was only after the fact that I looked the movie up and found out about the creation song and all of that.
Light my way, child of
He doesn't actually do that, does? No, he does.
He does.
He does do something.
He kind of William Shatner's his singing
a little bit,
quote unquote. Also,
he does great though.
Oh, he does.
He's got a great voice.
In fact,
I
listened to an extended interview with him where he talked about this, and he talked about the creation song, and he thought the world of this movie. He thought it was brilliant. But yes, I do. I think that if they had opened the movie that way, and if I think they had this, I know you had talked about this being very much of its time, the hippies and all that. I think if they had done this idea just in a different way, it would have been a little more palatable. Because like you said, they're sitting in the dirt. They're living in a cave. Is this really appealing? I'm not saying he should be in a mansion, because obviously that's not what faith is. But it should have been something else. I don't mind him playing a role, just like Boogaloo's the devil's playing a role as Boogaloo. I don't mind that. But like Alfie's grown a beard. They have a baby now.
It's been a little while.
What the hell's going on? And this whole ending is a little
rushed.
It's not only rushed, it's as much as the tonal shift with like coming and all of that is, this goes into a whole nother level of tone shift where it just gets surreal and weird and dark and dreary and depressing. And you actually feel bad for some of these people. Like they're being left behind in this really kind of awful world where individuality is just beat out of you. And it's sad. Even though you've got characters being... Part of it is the goddamn cinematography. This area, because it's so dreary, you know, they look like they filmed this at like 6 a.m. and it's overcast and it feels gross. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It doesn't have the bright sunshine to give it that send-off. And that's just where they were. I mean, there was no getting around it. But, yeah, I do wish it was a little different.
Well, looking at Joss Ackland as Mr. Tops, you know, he has the gray beard and what has that kind of...
I mean, Jesus, he looks like Jesus.
Well, he looks like exactly. But I think Joss Ackland looks kind of like the more stereotypical, cliched version of an almighty, right?
Yeah.
I prefer when they portray God in a movie or whatever medium, and they don't give him that look. Like, do you remember in Quantum Leap, in the final episode of Quantum Leap, the bartender?
Of course.
Bartender didn't have that look, but he had that presence.
So
And
just have Joss Ackland do this without the beard, because he had like his voice, his mannerisms, he's owning it.
Sure, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
And then, do you remember Bedazzled, right?
Of course.
Do you remember when Brendan Fraser met God in jail, and he was a black guy with like cornrows,
Right.
and you're like, oh, well, that's not what we're used to seeing. But the guy had presence. He had a way of speaking that was interesting, and he seemed wise.
It was calming.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah.
And when he, it was just an interesting choice. It's, you know, and then it just been better than just like here, where there's like, it's just that old man with a beard, kind of with white hair.
I get that, and I do agree, but Joss Ackland does have a quality that
Of course.
I like.
Yeah. I mean, that's why he is a film actor, because he does have that quality.
Yeah, but I mean, shit.
Yeah.
This is Chuck Denomalos from Bill and Ted.
Oh yeah. Sit-up champion of the 23rd century.
He's the Russian ambassador in The Hunt for Red October.
Yeah.
These are all wildly different characters,
yeah.
and he's really got a presence. This shit is so...
What
the hell were they
It's
thinking?
a Cadillac in the sky.
Yeah, a gold one.
Gold Cadillac in the sky that just parks, and then Mr. Tops gets out. Why a Cadillac? I don't know. Could have been anything, but they chose a Cadillac. I mean, it didn't have to be a car. It could have been a balloon or airplane.
It's very odd.
Is it that odd? I mean, really?
Who the hell are you? They call me Mr. Tubbs.
Why do they have him say that, Mr. Tops? Why do you think they did that? I mean, they openly call him the devil, don't they? Do they? Wait a minute. Now that I
don't
say
think
that,
so.
do they?
No. He's inferred to be be the devil. But they don't
yeah,
actually
sure.
call him the devil. I don't think.
Oh, shoot.
I mean, why is he called Mr. Tops? Is that your question? Like,
Why that choice of names? Why not just call him God, I guess?
well, I don't think it's necessary. I think
Oh, necessary, no.
no. I mean, we're like I said, they're not literally these people. I mean, they are, but they're not. Now I'm confusing myself. I mean, it's not needed. You don't need to say I'm God and you're the devil. We know they are. Those are just their names. So
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
God, this is so abrupt.
I know, in the context of this world, of this fantasy where God and the devil, where the devil is a music producer and God is, drives a gold Cadillac, those are their names. That's just this world.
Yeah.
That's what it is, and you just accept it. Pandy!
And, that's it. Our heroes are gone. We don't get any...
Oh, he doesn't go up. Shake. I thought he did.
That didn't
stays
feel
there.
right to me when you said that.
Oh, anything's got to be better than this. That's what they're thinking.
Tops, wait a minute. Where do you think you're taking them?
I don't know yet. I'm looking for a new place.
In your
I like
planet?
the music playing in the background.
Yeah, the orchestra.
Uh-huh.
It's good.
Don't tell me you're going to start all over again.
Yes. But this time without you.
Without me? But my dear Tops, you know that is impossible. The world simply cannot exist without me.
Let's give it a try.
He's got a point.
Yeah.
You know, you can't have good without evil, right? So did it look like he was supposed to start flying?
There was such
Something
an
about
odd way that
yeah.
he was walking.
It looked like he was maybe wired, and then maybe
I
he
don't
flew
know.
up.
It was so weird, and they never.
They
cut away from it so quick.
Yeah, I'm guessing that he started walking up into the air, and the effect didn't look good.
And so they cut.
And so they
because
cut-
like the shot was too quick too. It was something very odd
I'm guessing
about
that's what happened, and they thought, yeah, let's just. Oh, that's it.
it. That
They
is
throw
it.
the Apple credit back on the screen, but then it jumps right back into the music, and you're like, oh, this is what.
Oh
yeah.
George Clinton.
Oh, I was right. George Clinton. I knew somebody was involved. They're like, yeah, this was the energy I remember. I want to get back to this. Shake.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Magic apple, mystery apple. Take a little ride. Let me be your guide.
Well, we've done it. We've talked
I was
over
looking
the apple,
for
Justin.
what was her name. One of the dance. Oh, Fiona Hughes. They talked about her a lot
Oh, they
in
did?
videos that I've seen about this, where she went on to like a famous soap opera career and all that. Like when you see her in the dance number, she sticks out. She's gorgeous.
I don't remember.
If I go
She's
back
in,
and freeze,
more
she's
than-
in every number, just like every dancer is in every number.
She was a soap actress?
She is now.
Yeah. Oh, she is now, still.
Uh-huh.
Well, she's got to be...
Oh, she's older.
Oh, yeah, but... I mean, how old was she when she did this?
Oh, she looked like she was a baby.
Wow,
Early
the
20s.
credit's really that short?
Looks that way.
Okay.
Well, final thoughts?
Well, I think the movie is a lot of fun. I think if people will give it a chance and just don't put their expectations aside, just enjoy it for what it is. Let the songs go over you and just enjoy them. Enjoy the fantasy world of it. Admittedly, it does have a slow kind of third act with some problems, but it's still got a lot of good stuff in it. A lot of good stuff. And a great soundtrack that you don't even have to watch the movie to enjoy.
The movie credits are over, and there's still 2 minutes worth of music that's just going to play.
Oh, they're just going to let it go?
Yeah, it's just playing the song.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
I'll tell you why, because it still doesn't hit 90 minutes. You're right. The box says 91, but that's not correct.
Well, it is a musical, so I don't see why they wouldn't do that.
Well, the credits, there was just none. Like, why didn't they expand the credits, for God's sake?
Make up fake credits like Neil Breen?
Well, surely there was more people involved in that movie.
Maybe. So, yeah, like I just said, I think give it a shot. You might actually find yourself enjoying it and clapping along to the songs as I was just doing and maybe grooving a little bit to some of them like I do, or singing along to some of them like I also do. What do you think, Justin? What are your final thoughts?
Well, I mean, you said keep your expectations low. I don't think that's fair.
Okay, I think I misspoke when I said that.
I know what you meant.
Well, no, you know what? I hate it when you say that.
No, I know what you meant.
Let me shut up.
Let
me call
since
you
you're
on
going to
that.
cut me off, let me tell you what I think you meant.
No,
Okay?
no, I have to tell you what this part first.
Fuck you, tell me.
Because do you know how many commentaries you've said that to me too? You said that exact same phrase where I say something and you look and there's a pause and then you say, I know what you're trying to say, but let me make it clear for the people listening because
Don't
you're
get all
a fucking
offended
idiot.
on me. No, shit, that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean, dipshit. What I'm saying is I understand what you were saying. And you said, like you said, you misspoke.
Okay, fine.
When you say go in with your expectations low, I don't, to me, that's like saying, oh, it's not a good movie, don't expect it. I think that's what it comes out as. But I know what you meant was don't go in there with the idea that this is a musical like you've ever seen before. This is not Grease. This is not Rocky Horror, which oddly enough, even Rocky Horror makes more literal sense than this movie.
Yeah.
Go in open-minded and be willing to see a musical fantasy, which I dare say is not super common. Like they're usually love stories or dramas or something, you know? Les Miserables, I watched that one.
Evita.
It's friggin' beautiful, but it's a drama.
Yeah, sure.
You know, this is a fantasy musical. You probably count on one hand, you know? So just go in open-minded, be willing to see something different. Don't judge it at first sight, you know, because
if you can stick with it past that opening,
if you can, and not to say the opening's bad. It's just
no.
I can see where you go, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
but let it go, let it take over, you know. And I think you're in for a treat.
It should at least intrigue you enough to hold your interest, so you keep watching.
Yeah,
like not
hold on 10 minutes and you're getting to show business.
Yeah,
if you're not hooked by show business, just turn it off.
Yeah,
know?
Yeah. It's not unlike, you know, we just watched this movie maybe a week or two ago called Gentlemen Broncos.
Yeah,
and it wasn't a great movie. It was interesting.
Yeah,
it had a quality to it, but there was the way it started, like it immediately kind of made us interested in what was going on, the style of it.
Yeah.
And was it completely successful? No, but it did hold our interest long enough to watch the movie.
I'm hearing that guy, you know.
Oh, the guy's voice.
Whenever you create a character, add the word anus to the end.
If anybody out there is interested, check out Gentlemen Broncos. It's on. Is it on Prime?
Yeah, I think
it's on Amazon Prime. It's from the guys who did Napoleon Dynamite. So it has that aesthetic quality to it and that awkwardness.
It's not as good as Napoleon.
No, it's not. But that's why you've never heard of it.
It's enjoyable in its own way.
Yeah, but it had that quality where it kind of hooked me in from the beginning, and it kept my interest, and it made me want to see where it was going to go. And the Apple should do the same for you. It really should.
And we can't convince you to like these songs, but
no.
Again, go and give them a chance. Like, just enjoy them. I guess
it's subjective. It could be a matter.
It really is subjective.
It could be a matter of taste. You know, it really could.
I could watch this movie every day of the week more than Grease, which is up there in like the top 5 musicals.
In a way, it really is.
It's quick.
Yeah,
it's under 90 minutes, like we just said. It gets to the point,
and each sequence is its own little separate entity.
It is. You can jump in.
It does. Yeah,
like Grease, you got to get into the story.
Yeah.
This does have a story, but it's pretty paper thin. You can follow it.
I mean, you can just jump right into the Apple sequence and
have a blast.
To have fun.
Yeah,
and then go about your day.
Yeah,
and come back later and watch the showbiz scene. it's all right. Give it a chance. Really should just give it a chance.
Yeah.
And
don't believe what you hear. Go in just to try a different movie. Don't go in there thinking I'm going to watch one of the best worst movies.
If you've listened to this whole thing, this whole commentary, and you haven't seen the movie yet, and we haven't sold you on it, then we must have been doing something wrong because.
Look at listen to our enthusiasm.
Yeah,
you know, this is not. I think you said this at the top. This is not The Room. The Room is laughably bad. That's a different kind of bad.
That's different.
This, whatever bad people think this is, which they're wrong, is not. It's not that kind of bad movie. Even if you want to think of it as a bad movie, it's not the kind where you're going to laugh like that. It's not that kind of movie. Try and get into the narrative. I guess what else are we going to say? So, yeah, got our vote. So.
Yeah, you know, if you maybe you should try listening to some of the songs. I mean, sample them here and there. I mean, if you don't like them, I mean, I don't like every genre of music. I
Sure.
don't like every song I hear. But,
Yeah, go onto YouTube.
Yeah.
Listen, watch the piece of the movie that does their song, their duet.
Cry for Me.
Cry for Me. If that song doesn't sell you, fuck it. Don't bother.
Mm-hmm.
But watch that one, watch The Apple. Those two songs. Just like we did. That sold us. So.
All right.
That's it.
I think they got the point.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening. I'm Josh. Good night.
I'm Justin. Good night.